never thought that Bold Nebraska would be tackling climate change and energy issues. When we started Bold Nebraska, our mission then and our mission today was to change the political landscape of our state. We think that beyond political parties, having only one voice, a conservative voice, which is dominating our state's politics, really dismisses progressive, populist, and moderate views, and that you have a strong state when you have a diverse state of political views. There's postcards and information on your tables about something called the TPP, and that's what our first speakers are going to talk about. And I have to be honest, when I first heard about this issue, I didn't understand it. We now see it a lot in the headlines with President Obama and Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren, kind of battling it out, if you will, on the progressive agenda. But our two speakers, Mary Kay from the Communications Workers Union and Dave from IBEW Union, are going to talk just for a little bit about what that policy is, why it's a bad deal, and why we need you guys to continue to pressure Representative Ashford in particular to vote no when it comes in the House. So Mary Kay.
With the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Obama's claim that all the jobs that were going to be offshore are already gone, that's just plain not true. Any job that's done on a computer or an internet is at risk. That includes call center jobs, computer programming, engineering, accounting, medical diagnostics, and so much more. CWA represents probably more of the call center workers in the nation. We have like 47,000 right in Iowa. It's an equal number or more here in Nebraska.
We see climate change as the most important moral issue of this century. And faith communities have traditionally been leaders in moral matters, and so we think it's time for churches and synagogues and mosques to step up and get on board with fighting climate change. And now when we're looking at TPP, we're very concerned about that issue. And the main reason, from our point of view of fighting climate change, is that these kinds of agreements make it very difficult for us to have regulations that will regulate greenhouse gas emissions. If other countries and corporations can sue because our regulations are seen to harm their business, then it makes it very difficult for us to do the hard work that we're already not doing the way that we should.
Sierra Club is also strongly opposed to TPP, and I was one of those folks that got out in the rain a couple weeks ago, I guess it was about a month ago now, to talk about how TPP is bad for the environment.
You know, the AFL, the Sierra Club, and over 2,000 organizations representing labor, environmental groups, human rights watch groups, and religious organizations have signed on with letters urging the administration and Congress not to pass this bill. And here in Nebraska, hundreds of people and thousands of people have contacted Congressman Brad Ashford on this issue, asking him to vote no, asking him to side with working families and the environment and not big corporations. But he has refused to listen. He has kept a hard line that he is pro-corporate trade agreements, that he will stand with big corporations, big polluters, and outsourcers, and not with his constituents. So there are postcards that we're asking folks to sign so that when this comes up in the Senate during next week, and then in the House in 2 weeks, that Brad Ashford gets another strong message that this community says no to corporate trade agreements, that this community says yes to keeping Americans at work, this community says yes to strong environmental standards, this community says yes to holding corporations accountable and giving people a fair wage. The other thing is that we're going to be having a rally in front of Congressman Ashford's office. We're going to be holding this rally on the 21st, so next Thursday. And this is because we've called his office, we've written him letters, and he hasn't been listening. So now we're going to take it to his workplace because he's shipping our brothers and sisters jobs overseas. So we're going to show up at his workplace. And so I would love to have folks join us. Jane and folks from Bold, Nebraska came out, about 100 people came out in the rain a few weeks ago, and we want to make sure that we continue to have a big presence, that we continue to say that we reject the ideas of austerity and corporate trade agreements, and that we really do stand for something here in Nebraska, and that we demand that Brad Ashford either stands with constituents or steps out of the way of working people here.